What's going on, my people? What's good? Back. I know y'all ain't seen me in a few weeks. It's been rough. What can I say? Life, man. That's all I can say is life. Life hit us all in different ways. You gotta handle it as it come, I guess, and keep pushing. But man. But I'm saying on my Varnell Hill, did you miss me? Nah. But anyway, for y'all that know Varnell Hill, Martin. So anyway, but yeah, today, you know what I'm saying, on the platform, the promotional platform, you got me. Go ahead and check out what I already did. If you missed the show, go ahead and go check that out. You know what I'm saying? You can, like I said, spin a block back a couple times. If you want to rewatch something, share some stuff, whatever. Just help a brother out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be on the team with me, you want to help me win, like, help me win. That's all I can say. I appreciate everything y'all been doing, watching these shows and giving feedback and like I said, leaving comments and whatever it is that you guys do at the time when I notice it, and the likes on Facebook. I appreciate everything y'all do, everything. So like I said, don't think that I don't. I'm not taking none of this for granted. Like I said, I love doing this. It's actually from the heart. Everything I'm doing from the heart, from the editing, everything I did when I look up shows, my research, everything I do from the heart, because I love doing this and I just want to express myself, and I want to see how many people might understand how I'm feeling or might just feel like me. Might, you know what I'm saying? We might, great minds think alike. So, but nevertheless, today our show, we going a little bit left, not too far, but we just gonna go left a little bit. We got top 15 subliminal messages in Disney movies. Now, with this show, I figured it would be, I guess, appropriate for people to watch, because some of my viewers got kids, and I know y'all might let some of y'all kids watch some of the Disney stuff and everything that's going on with some of the movies, whatever. So, and then I know as a now that I'm an adult, but as a kid, I used to watch a few Disney movies because my mom, you know what I'm saying, having sisters and stuff. My mom keep a lot of Disney movies around, like for my sisters and maybe cousins or something that come over or whatever, because everything ain't boy friendly or whatever. So I remember a few of these movies, these Disney movies growing up, and I'm gonna see exactly what they're talking about in them, because like I said, I don't watch this stuff. We watch it together, like I always say. And maybe y'all might have noticed some of this stuff already, or y'all might not have, and y'all might just go back and rewatch some of the stuff and may see it or whatever. But yeah, this is, like I said, we live in a weird world, so I'm trying to hit y'all on the stuff that y'all ain't seen. If y'all haven't seen it, that way y'all will be aware, because I want my people to be aware. I don't want us up under no rock. So, without further ado, we're gonna dive into this.
Disney loves to hide subliminal messages in their movies. Some of them are ingenious and some downright inappropriate. Here are 15 subliminal messages in Disney movies. Number 15. Aladdin. With the vocal talents of Robin Williams and stunning animation, Aladdin welcomed viewers to a whole new world of intrigue in 1992, in what would become one of the best animations they'd ever release. Its producers clearly had a lot of fun making it, but there's a scene that's still thought of as controversial almost 30 years later. Aladdin is pretending to be Prince Ali and is waiting for Jasmine in her room. What he didn't expect was her tiger, however. And while the official line he says is, "Good tiger, take off, scat, go," there are many who think he really says, "Good teenagers, take off your clothes." Take a listen. What do you hear?
Good teenagers, take off the clothes. Good teenagers, take off the clothes.
Number 14.
I'm gonna give my opinion as we go. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't know about y'all, that felt like a total reach. That's just to me. That felt like a reach. I do remember watching Aladdin growing up, and I remember that part clear as day. I don't remember nothing like that he said. So like I said, we watching this just to see if we miss something or we gonna gain something. But some of this stuff, you know how people go, then it's technology today, you can rewrite damn near anything, history, whatever. So we gotta be careful about a lot of stuff that we take in and think that's true and we gonna believe. So but in my personal opinion, y'all can leave y'all opinion if y'all want, but I think that was a reach.
Inside Out. 2015's Inside Out was released by Pixar and is set inside a young girl's mind as her competing emotions help her to cope with changes taking place in the real world. It was a critical success and yet more proof of Disney and Pixar's ability to create powerful storylines. But did you spot the hidden message within it? At one point, the characters are debating whether there are any bears in San Francisco. There's a noise in the distance, and Fear is worried that it might be a bear. Disgust says not to worry because there aren't any. But Anger replies, I saw a really hairy guy. He looked like a bear. Was this then a comment about the gay community in the city, or something completely accidental?
No bears in San Francisco.
I saw a really hairy guy. He looked like a bear. Oh, I'm so jumpy. My nerves are shot.
Number 13. A Bug's Life. A Bug's Life was Pixar's second feature-length animated movie and introduced us to Flick, who embarked on a quest to protect his colony from a group of grasshoppers. The cast was made up of a crew of misfit bugs who joined him on his journey, one of which was a ladybug called Francis. At one point, he's performing for a crowd in a circus when he's subjected to somewhat of an awkward heckle. Housefly shouts out, "Hey cutie, want to pollinate with a real bug?" Francis doesn't take too kindly to this, but was it the meaning behind what the fly had said or the fact that it happened in a movie aimed at children that caused the most offense? Hopefully, there weren't too many parents who had to explain it to their kids.
Hey, cutie! Want to pollinate with a real bug? Yeah.
Number 12. The Emperor's New Groove, Kronk 10.
I don't necessarily got too much to say about that, really, because, you know, as kids, we know what pollinate means, but I don't think none of us as kids was really taking it like that. I think because we kind of, I don't know, like that's kind of on the fence. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. It's on the fence. Like, yeah, it could be offensive, but it was like it was kind of funny. But I don't know. What y'all think?
The Emperor's New Groove came out in the year 2000 after 6 years in production. But unfortunately for Disney, it didn't do as well at the box office as the other films they had released in the previous decade. Still, it has a cult following and follows the story of an Incan emperor called Cusco, who's turned into a llama and has returned to the palace to be transformed back. We also follow the adventure of Kronk, who's the henchman for the emperor's evil advisor, and in one scene he sets up camp and sleeps in the jungle. The controversial question, however, is the position of his tent. It isn't big enough to completely cover him, but why did he choose to place it there? Number 11. Cars. Pixar has been responsible for so many different amazing franchises that it's almost impossible to remember each and every one of them. But one of the most popular, especially with kids, is Cars, the story of Lightning McQueen in a world where everyone is an anthropomorphic car.
Call me a kid, but I love this movie.
Eagle-eyed viewers noticed that the animators made this reality surprisingly lifelike, however, particularly in one scene when they're driving along the highway to California. Along the side of the road, there's a sign advertising the top-down truck stop, where all of the waitresses are convertible. It turns out that even in what's seen as one of the most child-focused movies from Pixar, they still choose to include a healthy dose of adult realism into things. Number 10. The Rescuer.
Okay, I'm starting to understand what they're doing now. Now, y'all gotta understand, even though kids are watching these movies, the adult has to be they watch these movies as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is the entertainment of the little sublimes that are like adult like, they're for the adults. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's something for the adults to laugh at. Like, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of kid movies are boring. They come on, man, they boring. Like, nothing be going on with them. They be just there for the kids, so the kid can be entertained and they can have little imaginary stuff going with themselves and keep themselves entertained. While the adult is this is supposed to be their time where they probably concentrate and probably read a book or do something. Nowadays do something in their phone, might play bingo or whatever fucking their phone, and it's to keep the kids entertained. But if the adults is gonna watch these movies with the kids, what's wrong with having something that the adults can laugh at? You know what I'm saying, that the kid might not pick up on. Like the adults with the mom and dad might laugh, like you see that they snickering in the back. The kids ain't gonna pick up on it because they're not paying attention to that, because they looking at everything else because it's a cartoon, like, or it's, you know what I'm saying, it's in 3D or whatever that pixel configuration is. But at the end of the day, the sublimes and stuff in there is mainly the sublimes I've seen so far. I think are mainly for the adults, so they can have some type of joke to themselves and they can laugh, and you know what I mean, and everybody can enjoy the movie. I don't really see nothing too harsh that sticks out to be like, these movies is really fucked up. Like, but I don't know. We about to keep going to see what else he has.
The Rescuers, Disney's 23rd animated feature, was released in 1977 and introduced us to the Rescue Aid Society, which was an organization that was based in New York and helped abduction victims around the world. This subject matter was deeply political, and Walt Disney himself delayed its development in the 1960s because of concerns about this. But it was revived the following decade as a project for trainee animators. Despite its already risque narrative, there's a moment around 38 minutes in when things are equally as controversial on screen. Bianca and Bernard are flying through the city while sitting in a sardine can on top of the bird, and in a background apartment window, there's a clear image of a topless woman. According to Disney, this hadn't been done by the original animators, but during post-production when the film was re-released on VHS. Once it was spotted, they had to recall as many as they could, just in case that one frame warped any impressionable young minds.
Now that might be a problem. That might be a problem. Woo! How did that slip through? And I've seen this movie before, so it ain't like something I just used to go and rewatch, you know what I'm saying, and just keep watching or whatever. But I've seen this movie before, so how did that? Yeah. Now we cooking. That might have been a problem.
Number 9. Cinderella. After a period of difficulty during the Second World War, which several releases performed below expectations, Disney returned to critical and commercial success with the release of Cinderella in 1950, in what is still regarded as one of the company's greatest movies ever. Telling the story of a maid who's bullied by her older sisters, the titular character finally gets to live happily ever after once she meets the prince. As usual with Disney movies, a number of comedic characters were added to keep the story lighthearted, and the main two were mice called Jack and Gus. They decide at one point to steal a load of beads, but realize that as rodents they don't actually have anywhere to keep them. Jack then has the idea of threading them onto Gus's tail, which, watched back now with how the world has moved on, can't be seen as anything other than a certain toy that some people like to play with. Number 8.
So are they trying to say that's what I think they're trying to say it is? Man, hold up, man. Hold on, man. Wow. What do y'all think they trying to say that is? Oh man. Oh man. What do y'all think? Hey, people sick, man. People are very sick, man.
Watched back now with how the world has moved on, can't be seen as anything other than a certain toy that some people like to play with. Number 8. The Lion King. When the original Lion King was released in 1994, the world was introduced to the African savannah to join the story of Simba as he grew into adulthood to claim back the throne from his evil uncle Scar. With a soundtrack featuring Elton John and an all-star cast, it was an instant classic. But some eagle-eyed viewers noticed a strange scene in the middle of the movie that appeared to spell out a surprising word in the sky. Simba looks up towards the sky during the night, then falls back and kicks up a cloud of dust. As it floats in the air, it seems to arrange into letters and create a word. But what do you think it is? One of the animators involved in the movie claimed that they were indeed meant to be letters, but that they are actually SFX. But there are many who believe the F is instead an E. Number 7. Cars 2. Even though Cars wasn't exactly the most popular movie that Pixar ever released, it was still successful enough to spawn a series of sequels. And if the hidden imagery in the first one was bad enough, then they pulled out all the stops for the second. In Cars 2, there's a crew of older cars who is known as the Lemons, who in one scene have a big party where they have lemonade, lemon hats, and lots of lemons. One car there even says, "Is this a lemon party?" Just so we're clear on what's going on, and while this may not...
So, okay. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together here. Lemon, lemonade, lemon party, Illuminati. I could be wrong, but that's where it sounded like they was going with this. I don't know.
seem too bad, you most definitely shouldn't even think about searching for the phrase in Google. It relates to one of the oldest internet memes known as the Lemon Party, which is an image of 3 elderly men who are engaged in a pleasurable act, something that certainly has no place in a movie for kids.
Well, I ain't too far off.
Number 6. Muppet Treasure Island. The Muppets are undoubtedly one of the most popular and successful children franchises there has ever been. Starting with The Muppet Show, they went on to star in a series of movies, and one of their best was The Muppets Treasure Island. Released in 1996, it starred Kermit as Captain Abraham Smollett, Fozzie Bear as Squire Trelawney, and Miss Piggy as Benjamina Gunn. Kermit's on-off girlfriend isn't exactly known for her shyness, but in this movie, that's taken to another level when they put a character like her in with the ruthless world of pirates. It's implied that she had her way with quite a few of her peers, with the first mention being when she talks about Captain Flint and says, "He was a pirate, I was a lady, you know the rest." And then later,
Miss Piggy was a thought? They got Miss Piggy out here thoughting? Oh man, I don't know if I noticed that. When I used to watch the Muppets. Me and my brothers, we used to watch the Muppets. Well, I don't know about that Muppet movie, but we seen a Muppet movie. Miss Piggy out here throwing them cheeks like that. Disney, what y'all on, bro? Bro, y'all some weird, y'all some weird motherfuckers in Hollywood, bro. I'm telling y'all weird as hell.
later on, when she meets Long John Silver, she says, "Hello, Long John," in a cheeky way. And Kermit reports, "Oh no, him too?" Probably from experience, feeling sorry for all of them. Number 5. The Little Mermaid. Based on the fairy tale of the same name by Hans Christian Andersen, The Little Mermaid was released by Disney in 1989 and is seen by cinema historians as being the movie that reinvigorated the studio's hand-drawn animations. It seems it didn't avoid secret messages and meaning, though, as one scene clearly shows. During the part where Prince Eric and Vanessa are married, the bishop conducting the ceremony appears to be enjoying his responsibility a little too well when an unfortunate bulge appears. According to one of the animators, this was actually meant to be the bend in his knee, but that excuse didn't convince.
Oh my God! How is this shit slipping through the editor's desk, man? Like what? Bro, this is why I said, this is why we watching this together, because I know, like I said earlier, I know some of my viewers is watching my show got kids. And sometimes kids are a lot more advanced than we give them credit for. And I want every adult that's watching this show to know you were once a kid. So if you was thinking like that as a kid, imagine what your kid is thinking like now. So as parents, I mean, I'm not a parent. I mean, I don't have no kids, but I'm just saying, I can only imagine as a parent that y'all will probably think, oh, my kid will never do this or wouldn't think about that, wouldn't do that. Man, look, we was all a kid once. Stop doing that to yourself. Like, if that's your DNA, you know they gonna think like that too. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, sometimes you gotta beat them to the punch. You gotta bring stuff up before they even think about it. So if they happen to stumble upon that subject, my mom and daddy already taught me about that. I ain't gotta worry about that. Like, that's how some kids venture off and start getting curious and start asking questions, or even if they ask questions, some people act like they don't want to answer them, so they go looking for answers. So you don't want to keep your kid in the dark. But this crap here, I do not understand. And let's be clear. They used to say Walt Disney was on a lot of allegedly on a lot of freaky stuff, and he had a problem with I guess with women in general or something. I don't know. This is all allegedly. Like I said, this is all alleged. But Walt Disney used to be on some stuff, I guess, making these movies, and if he was behind these movies, it's starting to show, because a lot of this stuff is like, man, how did this even get this far?
Against everyone, and someone even tried to sue Disney for it because it was not suitable for children. If you don't remember seeing this, it's likely that you've not seen the original version of the film. For recent re-releases, the offending object has been edited over to prevent any more young minds from being corrupted. Before we move on, be sure to subscribe to Top 5s with notifications on. Number 4. The Lion King promotional poster. Movies are, as we know, a commercial business. And not only is it important for studios to create imaginative and awe-inspiring films, but they must also get the marketing right too, to ensure that everyone knows about an upcoming release and goes to watch it. As a company known for its unique art styles and storytelling, Disney, more than most, puts a lot of effort into their promotional posters and images, but sometimes these too include things that you may not notice at first. The most famous of these is one that was created for the re-release of The Lion King in 2002, which shows Simba in front of a sunset and the giant face of his father in the sky. At first, nothing seems too unusual about this, but take a closer look at the shape of the nose in the sky. Doesn't it also look like a thong? If you then look at what's around it, you'll start to see the shape of a naked woman's back, her arms stretching up and her hair over.
I think this might be another reach. Like, if you look at anything too long enough, you can make anything out of anything. So it's like, I think this might be another reach. I don't think this was intentionally done to have a woman's ass on Simba's nose or Mufasa's nose. I don't think that was done intentionally. So for them, whoever brought this to the masses attention, maybe you was in some freaky thoughts or something, because if you look at a lion's face, you can clearly it looked like a woman's butt probably, like, but this is a reach.
Her back. Unsurprisingly, it was withdrawn from use soon after its discovery. But when asked about this, the artist responsible for the artwork claimed that it was all a complete coincidence, and of course they wouldn't have hidden a secret image like that in there. But with Disney's history of hiding secret messages and meanings into their films, it's not too hard to believe it was done on purpose, is it?
You got a point.
Number 3. The Little Mermaid VHS cover. As one of the company's most successful films ever following its release, The Little Mermaid was the first animation that was part of the so-called Disney Renaissance that led to a number of highly successful films over the next decade. It's no surprise that the company was looking forward to the second wave of revenue it would generate with the release of the film on VHS, so they had a piece of artwork specially commissioned for the cover. The problem was, whether intentionally or not, the image contained something highly controversial for the release of a children's film, and resulted in them having to recall them all and reprint it. The cover in question depicts a golden castle in the background. If you focus on one of the spires in the center, you'll almost immediately notice its clear resemblance to a certain body part. It was first spotted by a woman who bought it from a grocery store in Phoenix, Arizona in 1990, and when she returned it to complain, the story was picked up by local media. Soon there was a rumor it had been done by a Disney employee who had found that he was going to lose his job.
Y'all motherfuckers is nasty, man. Y'all, man, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, in the Boosie voice. In the Boosie voice, man. Come on, man. What in the world, bro? Like, now somebody had to really keen in on that. You had to really keen in on that, because I don't think the average person would just pay attention to that. Oh, that look like a diddler right there. Know what I'm saying? But like I just said 10 minutes ago, Hollywood is nasty. Y'all nasty.
After this piece of work was completed. So as revenge on the company, he included something that everyone would surely remember. The truth, though, according to the artist who drew it, was that he hadn't done it on purpose, but was in such a rush that he only drew that part at 4 in the morning and probably wasn't thinking straight. Number 2, Frozen. There's no question that Frozen is Disney's most successful release in recent times, based on The Snow Queen, a fairy tale written by Hans Christian Andersen. The 2013 movie was instantly loved by kids and adults around the world because of its stunning visuals and memorable songs. It seems the film received the full Disney treatment, though, which included plenty of hidden messages and secrets that only adults would understand. When Anna sings First Time in Forever, for example, there's a line when she says, "We have a ballroom with no balls." And even Olaf the snowman makes a particularly dark joke when he's saying a rhyme. He goes, "Winter's a good time to stay in and cuddle, but put me in summer and I'll be a happy snowman." Of course, we know the rhyme should have ended with puddle, but perhaps this confrontation with death was deemed too morbid to outright say for the kids and resulted in a joke instead. Later on, Olaf is singing about what color he thinks snow could be instead of white, but when he gets to yellow, he stops and realizes that that would be a terrible color. Why might that be? Two popular characters from the film are Kristoff and his
Because it represents frozen piss. What? I don't know.
pet reindeer Sven. But have you ever wondered why they're so close? And more importantly, why Kristoff's coat looks to be lined with the same type of fur as Sven is covered in? One theory is that the fur of Sven's mother was given to Kristoff as a gift following her demise, and because he now smells and looks like her, that's why Sven sees him as a mother figure. Next, when Kristoff is quizzing Hans in front of Anna and asks if he picks his nose and eats the booger, Anna looks disgusted and says that he mustn't do that because he's a prince. Kristoff cheekily adds every man does it, and Anna goes, "Ew." But are they actually still talking about picking a nose, or something completely different that all men do? There's another scene that is often said to go too far into sexual innuendo, and it's the part where Olaf's head is detached from his body. Asking Kristoff to help, he says, "Can you grab my behind?" Furthermore, once his bonce is firmly put back into place, he says, "Oh, much better," with a smile on his face. Could this be because he's just been given head? The chances are, the more times you watch such a well-thought-through movie like Frozen, the more you'll see hidden elements that you hadn't noticed before. It's a testament to the ingenuity of the writers and animators, and in some cases, their dirty minds. But it makes it a lot easier to keep rewatching them, especially when all the kids want is another chance to sing that song. Number 1. Hunchback of Notre Dame. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is another family favorite from Disney and was released all the way back in 1996. Based on the book of the same name that was written by Victor Hugo, it tells the story of Quasimodo, a deformed bell ringer who just wants to be accepted into society. The themes explored in the film are some of the darkest that Disney has ever attempted, but there's one scene where they visually hid something that you'd never expect in an animation aimed at children. Quasimodo befriends a gypsy called Esmeralda, and she helps him escape being arrested and helps him find refuge. During one of the greatest villain songs ever to feature in a Disney movie called Hellfire, Judge Claude Frollo sings towards the roaring fire in his fireplace. Esmeralda appears in it as a vision, but for a moment she appears to be completely naked, with the animators paying particular attention to some of her usually covered assets. Again, those involved with the movie's production have since said that this was completely unintentional and that they were simply trying to depict the female form in fire. They claim that she's still wearing clothes, but they're difficult to see when limited to certain colors. What do you think? Subscribe to Top.
Well, clearly, what I think is that she has on a shirt. I'm trying to get back to it. But the way she was moving, yeah, you see the little line right there across her shoulders? She's not naked. So clearly she has on a shirt. So I don't understand what...
Completely unintentional, and that they were simply trying to depict the female form in fire. They claim that she's still...
Like, she clearly has on a shirt. So I don't know what they was trying to, like... People, like I said, when you stare at something long enough, you can tear it apart and start making all type of stuff with it. So I think a lot of this stuff was a reach, and I think people was just in some type of I don't know. I guess they was already in some type of freaky mindset, you know what I'm saying, to be thinking about stuff like that. But now some of that stuff that I seen, yeah, it was a little absurd. Like, of course you wouldn't think about that, but as y'all have kids and people that have kids, you gotta watch out for stuff like this. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't really trust everything that your kid watch and just think they're gonna just decipher and think that, oh, this is just a kid movie, or they just, oh, it's just fun stuff or whatever. But like I said previously in one of my shows, there are subliminal messages in everything we watch. And like I said previously in one of my shows, I am an 80s baby. So at the end of the day, we used to watch some real raunchy shit at the end of the day. And Ren and Stimpy was nasty. That whole cartoon looked like it stink when it come on TV. But they had all type of weird energy going on. I hated that cartoon, but they had all type of weird energy going on in that cartoon. That's just one I can remember. But it was a lot of cartoons that we used to watch growing up that was like, that had all type of sexual innuendos in it. And it seemed like that just slipped right past the media. Nobody really cared about what we watched, but we turned out great. Now the generation underneath us, I don't know what to say. Like, but a lot of these movies, like I said, that he said he had on this list, I seen growing up. So maybe, you know, everybody wants to be an activist now, so people probably got to watching it, like I said, start picking stuff apart. And then, like I said, the reputation of Walt Disney makes it no better, because they try to say this man was like the one of the worst people ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that could be people just trying to tear down his legacy and trying to see if they can find sublimes in the movie. And I ain't saying that he wasn't putting them in the movie at the end of the day, but some of them was clearly reaches, and some of them wasn't. So, but like I'm saying, like I said, I just want everybody to be aware of what's going on out there. So if you ain't looking out your window, I'm gonna show you. Like this, I'm just the window of what's going on out there, and I'm trying to give you a window. Just in case you want to go looking, you can look through my window. We look together. You know what I'm saying? And we can just notice how weird the world is now, and how it's evolving into just everything sexual. Like, I do not understand why everything has to be wrapped around sexual in Hollywood. Just everything sex. Like, or you gotta do weird stuff. Like, for my thought process, I don't understand why everything has to be like that. So, but protect your kids, stay dangerous, be safe though, in the same sense. And like I said in the next video, I got you know, my thoughts coming up as usual, and I got some more reaction videos that you might want to check and see, or I know you're gonna want to check and see. But I'm gonna try to keep it going for y'all, man. I love y'all. Don't ever forget it. Appreciate everything y'all doing. Like I said, share, keep stuff going, and peace.